Luke Combs and his longtime girlfriend Nicole Hocking have a surprise wedding, plus Luke Bryan and his wife share an emotional send-off for their nephew. We've got all the details here. Stick with us. Good afternoon and welcome to CountryCast. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're new here, please subscribe with notifications on. Most people who watch the show every day are not subscribed, and it would really help us out if you did that with notifications on. Now, before we get to the exciting news about Luke Combs and his longtime girlfriend, we got to talk about this emotional story here for Luke Bryan and his wife. Now, they had an emotional send-off for their nephew who is headed off to college. Now, that's exciting news, but it's also something that families often dread. Now, there is a very, very heartfelt story here about the Bryan family and their nephew and their nieces. Luke Bryan and his wife are amazing people who have dealt with a lot of tragedy and adversity in their life, but despite that, he has remained able to share his music with the world and be one of the most successful recording artists in all of country. Now, Luke Bryan was the youngest of 3 siblings in a very close family, and when he was just a teenager, his older brother passed away in a tragic automobile accident. And then years later in 2007, he would be playing the Grand Ole Opry for the first time. This is a monumental evening for anybody in the country music realm to play such a legendary venue. And on that evening, he took a photo with his sister, and unbeknownst to him, as he said in interviews, he didn't know it would be his last. 1 month later, his older sister, who had 3 children, would pass away due to a mysterious illness. He said in an interview, "That night, little did I know this would be our last photo together. She passed away due to a mysterious illness that was never identified." Now, when that unimaginable tragedy occurred, Luke Bryan and his wife Caroline quickly leapt into action, adopting all 3 of his late sister's children and taking wonderful care of them. And so that leads us to today, where they are very, very emotional to be sending their nephew off to college. And his wife shared this image on Instagram, which was very heartfelt and sentimental. She wrote, "I left a big piece of my heart today in Georgia. Been dreading this day for years, but I guess it's time for Till to fly. Still can't handle it right now. Good luck in college, my sweet boy." You can see that this was something that they were very emotional about here, and 180,000 likes, including one from Jason Aldean. Just a wonderful, wonderful family, and we wish Till all the best on their education, moving forward and stepping on out into the world. All right, we've got to move on, and we're going to talk about Luke Combs. Now, Luke Combs has been dating his longtime girlfriend, Nicole Hocking, for years now. And a lot of people, they see people who are with rich and successful folks, and they're like, they're just a gold digger and all this BS assumptions. Nicole Hocking and Luke Combs have been together since he was just a struggling artist trying to make it in Nashville. And that is what makes their story so amazing, where Nicole and them, they came together, and she's been by his side through the unimaginable success that he has had through the years with his country music career. He's breaking records held by Garth Brooks, just to put that into context of how massive of a superstar he's become. Luke Combs started dating Nicole Hocking way back in 2016. Now, this was before virtually anyone knew who he was. He didn't have a record deal, and his manager had never managed anyone else before. He was truly underground and unknown. So they started dating. She worked at BMI in Nashville, and she worked and helped other artists develop their sound. Luke Combs told People magazine back in 2018, everybody was like, yeah, this is never gonna work. And so I didn't have anything when we met. Now, you'll probably remember this image of the happy couple where Luke Combs posted, she said yes a while ago, but this was a way better place to take pictures than the kitchen. Can't wait to spend forever with you, Nicole Hocking. I love you. And so they took their photos after being engaged, apparently at their home in the kitchen, and then they staged these photos later, which is awesome. Now, as you know, on social media, there are a lot of crappy, judgmental people out there, and naturally, Luke Combs and his girl Nicole have had to deal with a lot of it. It's no secret that Luke Combs is a big boy, but he wears it like a badge of honor, and the notion that there are not women out there who like bigger dudes is total bullshit, and Nicole Hocking is there to call out the haters. She posted this tweet on Twitter saying, "To everyone currently being less than pleasant to me on Twitter for dating a bigger guy, you can catch these hands." And then she added below, "Also, grow up. It's 2019. The double standard for this is absolutely disgusting." So now we also know that Nicole Hocking is just an awesome person who isn't caught up in the vanity or some of the unrealistic expectations of the internet. Now, Nicole Hocking was also the inspiration behind one of Luke Combs' biggest songs. Of course, I'm talking about Beautiful Crazy. They had only been dating 3 or 4 months when Luke Combs wrote the song about his new girlfriend. Nicole Hocking described how the couple met in an interview with CMT. She said, "We kind of moved to Nashville around the same time as each other, and Nashville was different 5 years ago. Everyone kind of knew each other. Now it's kind of turned into a bachelorette town. Then we were down in Florida at a songwriters festival, and we were both single. And I was leaving a songwriters round, and he was walking up to it by himself. I was like, 'Come hang out with us,' she recalled." Combs added, "I looked bad too. I was wearing a $5 camo gym shirt from Walmart. Classy stuff. And the oldest t-shirt I owned. I didn't have anything going on when we met. I didn't have a record deal, a publishing deal, or anything." That's true love. And as mentioned earlier in the video, Luke Combs and Nicole Hocking had a very humble engagement, with Luke Combs talking about the engagement in great detail in that interview with CMT. He said, "Well, it was the day we were moving from our apartment in Nashville to this house that we bought. That was in November of 2018. And we couldn't move in on the day of the closing, so in the meantime, we went to my manager's house and spent the day there while all the movers were moving all the stuff. But we had to bring the cats with us, and they do not travel well. We spent a good part of the morning cleaning them, and they're stressing out, but I had bought the cats new collars with our new address on them, and I had the ring I was going to put in the cat's collar. So we got back to the house at 11 p.m. There's stuff everywhere. The beds are piled up with clothes, and when we were halfway there, her cat pees on herself. He was hyperventilating, and then she couldn't get him out of the crate. She doesn't know why I'm getting upset, and she's getting mad at me. By the way, her parents are flying in the next morning, and they knew, so I had to ask her. So I told her what I was gonna do." So Nicole chimes in and she says, "He was like, 'I got new collars for the cats, and oh, I got you this.' He pulls the ring out, gets down on one knee. My ears are hot. I wasn't expecting it, especially not in that moment." And so this brings us to today. Luke Combs and Nicole Hocking are now officially married, with Luke Combs sharing the following message on his Instagram. He wrote, "Yesterday was the best day of my life. I got to marry my best friend. I love you, Nicole Hocking. Here's to forever," with the photo from Tiffany Britton. And you've got a couple of pictures here. It was obviously a waterfront ceremony. Maybe this was down in Florida. Who the heck knows? But what a beautiful backdrop there. You've got the happy couple pictured together with Luke Combs totally swagging out with the blue suit on. Nice look there. And Nicole shared the following image, August 1st, 2020. "Yesterday was the most special day. I'm so happy to spend the rest of my life with you. Although we wish we could have had every single one of our family and friends there, we can't wait to celebrate with everyone next year. So excited to share much more of this day very soon. Much love." Again, congratulations to the happy couple. Obviously cause for celebration. It does sound like they had to have some limited people in attendance there, which is very unfortunate due to the pandemic. Again, hopefully in the very near future, they're going to be able to have a full out celebration and bash. And so wonderful news for the wonderful couple, sending our congratulations over to them. And thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't checked out my second channel, you can check me out over on Rockfeed. And of course, you can see me regularly here alongside my boy Randy Daytona as well when we're bringing you the country music news. Again, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you all very soon.